Apples galore, apples I adore. When the holiday seasons come around, apples always remind me of why I love being in the kitchen. I picked up a simple 3-pound bag of Honeycrisp apples, and that one little bag carried me through multiple recipes. One pot, three uses. That's how I love to cook, with intention and creativity. I started by rough chopping the apples and adding them to my Dutch oven with water, cinnamon sticks, star anise, and nutmeg, and just a touch of salt. As soon as those spices hit the heat, the whole kitchen shifted. That's the moment I love, when a simple ingredient starts transforming. And what I love most about this little pot of apples is that it's not just applesauce. From this one batch, I end up with something to eat, something to sip, and something to carry me through the week. A full trio. Efficiency meets creativity. I'm always thinking this way, whether I'm designing a home or cooking a meal. How can one idea expand into more? This is where the layering really happens. Flavors stacking the same way I layer my design choices. So once everything is layered and those warm spices begin to bloom, all that is left for us to do is let the heat do the work. Now we wait. And wait I did. I let the apples go low and slow until they had softened completely and all that warmth from the spices had time to settle in. Right here is where the whole kitchen started smelling like it had moved in permanently. Once the apples cooked down, it was time to strain everything and see what kind of liquid gold I had. I pulled out my mesh strainer and got to work, just letting gravity do its thing. And then I realized I had way more juice than I expected. So I reached for one of my mason jars. I keep them in the cabinet right next to the stove for moments just like this. I filled the measuring cup first, and then that mason jar took the rest. Between the two, I had almost 60 ounces of cider. Not just juice, cider, because those spices had been steeping in there, doing their good work this whole time. And listen, if you collect mason jars just the way I do, don't just store them, use them. This is exactly the kind of moment where they shine. And while we're here, let me tell you about this spoon. I've had it since culinary school back in 2006. And one day I left it too close to the gas flame and it burnt the very end where the plastic bubbled up and everything. Now it's heavy plastic, so it survived. It's just a little ugly. It's actually real ugly. But I went and I found the spoon sales at some restaurant supply stores for like $20 or $30. And I said, oh no, she's staying with me. She still works. She might be ugly, but she still works and I'm a worker. Now it's time for me to keep on working and get this juice strained. After straining, I blended the apples into this velvety, smooth applesauce. Warm, smooth, and ready for a little seasoning. And I did so off camera. I added some salt. I added some Vietnamese cinnamon. I added some brown sugar. Now, do you know what Vietnamese cinnamon is? That is cinnamon that tastes just like red hot, bold, spicy, and bright. And with that, the applesauce is done. Now, I could tell you how good it is, but let's let my husband Mike tell you what he thinks. All right, now it's time to taste test. You ready, babe?
Yep, ready.
I've been making this applesauce since last night. Now wait for me, because you know you like to go fast.
That's right.
But anywho, so I've been making this since last night. Super excited. If you hear
Okay.
he's being extra. But anyways, so I made this since last night. This is the consistency. It's a little bit smoother than what I normally do, but I got a lot of things going on. I'm making this Thanksgiving weekend and or week rather, and I got other things going in, but I wanted to just go on ahead and get this done because I bought apples for the Thanksgiving meal. So I had extra apples, and my husband loves applesauce.
Yep.
So I made some applesauce, and I made a whole bunch of cider. But I'll show you this after we taste. So you ready?
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Mm.
I taste the cinnamon. Oh,
It's
good.
so warm.
Yes.
I added cinnamon, star anise, and nutmeg to this. Woo! So good.
That's good.
So it's very good. The texture, again, like I said, it's a little smoother than what I normally do, but I actually like this texture. I think I might start doing this too. You like it?
I like this.
Yeah?
The last one was chunky, but this is smooth.
This is nice and smooth. Okay, cool beans. All right. So anyways, Chef C out. And now that we've tasted, it's time to put all the applesauce goodness away so I can move on to the next recipe. I'll be back when it's time for the cider. Aside from the applesauce, I also got this big jar, just under 4 cups in here, and a big mason jar. I don't know how much this is, and I don't have my readers, so I'm not going to try to pretend, of apple juice. Now, with that juice, I'm going to save some aside for just juice. And I'm going to do something else extra special. I'm going to make a simple syrup for coffee and for tea. I have this idea. I saw somebody, one of these coffee shops, their fall special was an apple pie latte. And I said, I could make an apple pie latte. And so I'm going to use this juice to make an apple pie latte. So far, these apples have rendered me apples for my Thanksgiving meal. It's going to be a filling in my minced meat roulade, which is a fancy way of saying rolled meatloaf, okay? Stuffed rolled meatloaf. Then I got applesauce for my hubs with the extra apples. And then with the juice from all of those apples, I got some really good apple juice that I'm going to use to make juice and simple syrup with. So, and try not to make a mess. Now to the pot. I've added juice to the pot. Then to the juice, I'm going to add some brown sugar. Now I measure everything by love in Chef C's kitchen for the most part. There are some times that I follow recipes, but we're gonna call it 2 heaping tablespoons of brown sugar for now. We'll see what happens after that. And I know because in my recipe that I made for the applesauce that I added a little bit more cinnamon. I'm going to go on ahead and add more cinnamon here as well. What I really like about this particular sauce that I made is that it is very flavorful. I used nutmeg, cinnamon, and star anise. And this, I'm finishing it off with one of my favorite cinnamons, which is Vietnamese cinnamon. So good. So I'm going to sprinkle that in here. Give it some cinnamon. And because cinnamon does not dissolve very easily, we're going to cook this with our sugars and cook it down. And that sugar in the water should help it dissolve a lot better. So I'm just going to cook that until I get a nice syrup. And again here, what I'm looking for is an apple pie flavoring. So right now I use some Vietnamese cinnamon. If you have Ceylon cinnamon, that will work. That's what most people have. My cinnamon comes from a place called Penzeys Penzeys Spices rather. And they make some really amazing spices. The really great thing about simple syrup is that it comes together very quickly. I do want this for coffee. So you see this is a little runny. I don't know if you can see that. Let me pull this camera up here a little bit more. And I might even pull this to you. But you see that's a little watery still. We don't want that to be watery. We really want the syrup to be nice and syrupy. And the great way, the classic way to get there is equal parts water, equal parts sugar. So I probably need to add a little bit more brown sugar to this now that I think about it and I'm seeing the consistency. But if you cook with the science and the main basic rules, you can do a whole lot. You have a whole lot that you can do with that. I'm gonna just eyeball this a little bit. I've been making simple syrup for years, and it comes to a point where you just kind of know what you're doing. So I have my simple syrup there. I'm adding this now. For my beverages, I like to add one little secret thing to my brown sugar simple syrups that just punches up the flavor quite a bit. So let me go get that from the pantry so you can see what that is. I add molasses. Now, I don't know much about this brand, but what I do know is that my husband, a New Yorker, turned me on to this molasses, and ever since he did, baby, I'm just saying, it's very good, very good. So I'm gonna add just a touch of molasses in here. That's gonna add some richness. It's gonna add some color. It's gonna add some flavor. It's gonna do quite a bit, and it's gonna be real good. Okay, I keep bumping this camera, but actually that was a good bump. It's gonna be really good. So just gonna mix this up here, get it going. And you see the color now. Here, let me get a little something so you can see the color difference between the juice, which is right here, and in here I'm going to put a little bit of that apple pie brown sugar in there. And I will also use this. So you see the color, the coloration on this is really rich, caramelized, whereas the coloration on this, you see, they're deep. It's a deep difference. So this one, I don't season my applesauce with a whole bunch of sugar, but my coffee sweetener, I put a little bit extra sugar in there because I like it. Okay, so let me taste this, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for this. Again, we're in an experiment right now. And so I'm going to judge what else I need to add to make this taste like an apple pie. Wow. That's very good. It doesn't really need much else. I think that hits. I might put a little bit of pie seasoning in there. I also have that from Penzies. It's their pie spice. Very good. Blend that up. All right. So you see our coloration really hasn't changed much yet. But we're going to taste it. We're going to try it out. And we're going to see how it goes. Ooh, it smells good. Oh my gosh. I think that butter extract is. That tastes like the holidays. My God, that's good. Do you want to taste it, babe? This is my apple pie simple syrup for coffee and chai. He's coming to taste. Okay, so Mike is here and we're gonna give it a taste. All right.
All right. Here we go.
Tell the people what you think. Apple pie simple syrup.
Oh, that's good. This is good stuff. You can drink this right here.
Okay, so victory.
Yes.
Victory. All right.
Yes.
So next, I got to continue on with Thanksgiving cooking. While we were off camera for a minute, my husband told me that this is actually really good as a cider or a drink. And he said he would drink that as a holiday drink right over ice or what have you. So this is not just for your coffee, people. It is for whatever it is that you want to do. Stay tuned.